All right, guys, we are live with another one. All right, welcome to OE MMA TV. I'm your host, OE. Like and subscribe if you're new to the channel. It takes minimal effort to give me the thumbs up, so you might as well do it. All right, thank you for supporting independent MMA media, guys. All right, the only channel where the fans come first, not last. All right, guys, let's get right into it with the topic of discussion. Dana White. He just keeps rapid fire. I tell you, he just keeps throwing haymakers out there. I'll tell you what, with the whole, debacle with John Jones actually making his UFC media appearances, you know what I mean? And actually answering all the questions that he can answer. All right, now he drops another gem, guys, another gem. Here it is. Diego Lopez versus Gene Silva for Noche UFC, guys. This should be a great match. How you doing, Dean? You're always on the chat. Welcome back to the chat. I don't know if you heard the big news from Dana White on his Instagram. I don't have Instagram, but I heard it on Twitter. Diego Lopez versus Gene Silva. What do you think about that fight? Who you think wins and why? Let me know in the chat. I'm excited for this fight. I really am. I'm excited for this fight. I think, both guys are, they both definitely want to get a W. I mean, I know Diego Lopez does, after getting, defeated by Volk, in that championship fight. Uh, I know for a fact Diego Lopez is looking for a W. But easier said than done, guys. Easier said than done because let me tell you something. Gene Silva is on a tear. All right, this man, he's beaten everybody. Okay, since he's touched the octagon from the Contender Series, the guy is just unstoppable. You know what I mean? His stand up phenomenal. Okay, very dynamic. Okay, Gene Silva is an up and comer that very soon, and actually sooner than later, we're going to be sitting here saying, "Man, how good is Gene Silva?" That is the question that we're going to ask ourselves very soon. Because look, if Gene Silva goes in there against Diego Lopez and picks him apart and KOs Diego Lopez and brings Diego Lopez to a 0-2 record after going against Volk and getting on a tear to be able to get that championship bout with Volk, guys, if Gene Silva is able to go in there and beat Diego Lopez to a pulp, I mean, the sky's the limit for the guy. You know what I mean? He's already phenomenal. He's already phenomenal. You know what I mean? When it comes to the striking, he can knock your ass out. You know what I mean? In many ways. And I just love his style. I really do. You know what I mean? That whole crew is nasty. Of course, Carlos Prates, he took his first loss as of recent against Ian Gary, but respectively, Ian Gary almost got finished in the fifth by Carlos Prates, which shows, guys, this group of of guys, they're different. And Gene Silva, he has yet to taste defeat in the octagon in the UFC. And I just think Gene Silva is gonna be on a tear. This is gonna be a bad look for Diego Lopez. Guys, like and subscribe if you are new to the channel. Let me read some of these comments. Ronda Rousey solos all. Man, you're crazy. You look like you could potentially be named Gert. Nah, most likely not. You know what I mean? I think your mama would most likely name you Gert. You know what I mean? We gotta stop the incest, guys. We gotta stop the incest. There's a lot of retards walking on, on this earth. So please, you know what I mean? George Ward, just stop the incest. But anyways, guys, going back, I mean, look, Gene Silva has beaten a lot of great opponents. He really has. And Diego Lopez, he's faced a lot of great opponents as well. He really has. I honestly thought we were going to get Diego Lopez versus Yair Rodriguez. That's what I thought, you know what I mean, we were going to get eventually, since there was a lot of drama between Yair Rodriguez and Diego Lopez at that press conference. I really thought we were going to get that. I really did. I thought that was a sellable fight. I thought that was a fun fight, you know. But instead, we still have an exciting fight in Diego Lopez versus Gene Silva. But I just wonder what made the UFC want to book this one. You know what I mean? Especially that Gene Silva is coming, he's 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 on a tear, and Diego Lopez, he's coming off of a loss, so it's like, man, you're feeding him to the wolves in Diego Lopez. So I just wonder, who came up with that idea? Who doesn't like Diego Lopez? That's really what I'm coming down to. Mr. OE is a legend killer. He would solo Dana White. I do think so, man. I do think so. I think when it comes to Dana White, I mean, I could definitely out wrestle the guy. You know what I mean? The guy is stiff as a board. All right. Definitely out wrestle him. I'm definitely not gonna outbox the guy. You know what I mean? From what I hear, he has a lot of experience in boxing. You know what I mean? Great stand up in Dana White. You know, I will keep my distance from Dana White. I would definitely use my legs to my advantage. I would kick the shit out of him. I will kick the shit. I would toe stomp the shit out of Dana White. You know what I mean? If we're stuck in the elevator and Dana White decides, he wants to, put hands on me. Yeah, that's what most likely I'll do. Go for a double leg, try to take him down, toe stomp the shit out of him in the process, probably elbow him a couple of times, and when the elevator door opens, most likely I'll be walking out of there clean. No, I'm just playing, guys. But that would be funny though. That would be hilarious. But let me see. Better shit talker. Duplessis or Sonnen? Oh, Joe Smo. That's a good one, man. That's a real good one. Shit. Duplessis or Sonnen? Uh, Look, man. Nobody is gonna beat. You know what I mean? The undefeated Chael Sonnen. I'm sorry. Ain't nobody beating Chael Sonnen. You know what I mean? When it comes to that, he was on a land of his own. Okay, everybody basically copied and pasted from Chael Sonnen when it comes to the shit talking. Let me tell you something. All right, that guy can come up with a lot of shit on the fly, and I say Chael Sonnen all day, every day, and every week, and twice on Sunday, baby. But DDP, he's a great shit talker for his generation. He really is. He would call John Jones. Look, man, if I'm in an elevator and me and Dana White get into it, and he decides, you know what, I'm gonna call John Jones. I'm I, Go ahead, call John Jones, and you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna call John Jones' wife because I know for a fact I could put her in between me and John Jones, and he'll be occupied for a little bit, and I can really gain some distance. All right, guys. Oh, Duplessis is better for emotional damage, Sonnen for promoting. Uh, Man, that's a good way. Mustard, that's a good way to put it. You know what I mean? That's a really, really good way to put it. I agree with you, actually. I do agree with you because Duplessis is sort of like his punchlines, they go low blow. You know what I mean? They get you right there in the gut. And he twists it too. He's like one of those killers that he's going to stab you and then twist it, That's DDP. You should call Tom so John would crash before reaching you. My point exactly, guys. My point exactly, guys. First, I would call his wife. I know there could be, something there, and then the second option after that would definitely be call Tom Aspinall. I know for a fact he would quit. He would quit. Oh my god! And for those of you, everybody who's watching right now, you know what I mean. The three of you, guys. I do not hate John Jones. I'm not a John Jones hater. I actually think John Jones is one of the greatest. All right, and if not the greatest, So I'm not gonna sit here and badmouth John Jones. I'm just playing. I hope John Jones doesn't see this video one day and decides when I see that guy in the calles, I'm gonna have to kick his ass because over here we don't condone that. We don't condone that. We know for a fact he has dogs. We know for a fact he's also really good at handling guns. So there's not an altercation that I want to have with John Jones. Okay, there really isn't. All right. But guys, like and subscribe if you are new to the channel. It takes minimal effort to give me the thumbs up, so you might as well do it. Don't forget to click that bell notification, man. It keeps us all connected in this beautiful community that you guys are building because this is your channel, guys. This is your channel, the only channel where the fans come first, not last, baby. But guys, Diego Lopez or Gene Silva, what do you think? Let me know on the chat. All right. I'm going to keep this one short and sweet today. I'm not going to be here forever. Okay. So Gene Silva versus Diego Lopez. Who wins that fight? Who wins that fight? I mean, let me know in the chat. I want to know really what you think. Because in my opinion, I don't see why Gene Silva can't beat Diego Lopez. Diego Lopez doesn't really have great head movement. and it proved, in the Volk fight. Diego Lopez does not have great head movement, and in my opinion, he's catchable. Okay, he's definitely hittable. So Gene Silva is known to hit people square in the face and knocking them clean out. So I mean, the possibilities are there, man, for Gene Silva to go in there and get a nasty KO and make Diego Lopez a highlight reel, guys, a damn highlight reel. Uh, let me see. Let me see. Let me see. I think on the feet, Diego Lopez is lighting Gene Silva up bad. Mustard, I don't know about that, man. I don't know about that. I don't know if I agree with you on that one because I actually think on the feet, Gene Silva is he's just a sniper. He's just a different type of striker. Diego Lopez is a good striker, don't get me wrong, but Volk was able to exploit him. He definitely did. Is Gene Silva better than Volk? I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is that Gene Silva is a sniper, very dynamic. And those type of fighters, all you need is one chance, one opportunity to seize everything he ever wanted. One moment. I think he's going to capture it. I think Diego Lopez is going to let it slip. Yeah, I used it again. You see, guys, let me see. Diego, I guess. Diego, I guess. Oh, everybody's saying Diego. Everybody's saying Diego Lopez on the chat. That is two already that believe Diego will win this fight against Gene Silva. The one advantage Gene Silva has is I think he has a better volume. Meanwhile, poor Malzvar getting the Arman treatment. Yeah, man, Malzvar, he gotta take a couple more fights before he could, go against somebody for that gold. Because I don't even know if Volk is gonna be there. You know what I mean? If by the time Malzvar actually gets the opportunity, that's the way it's looking, guys. All right, because I mean, Volk is about to be 36 years old. I see maybe two more defenses, and he's out of there. Out of there, guys. All right. I don't know about Gene, but Dean would beat Diego. I bet you he will. I bet you he will. I agree with you, Dean. I agree with you. The Dean lean, badass machine is Dean. You know what I mean? And I agree with you. Dean is a bad motherfucker. You know what I mean? But yeah, guys, I mean, I don't know, man. I mean, you guys really think Diego Lopez is a good striker? Like, in all honesty, you think Diego Lopez is a good striker? Because as I look at Diego Lopez, he's not a great striker, man. In my opinion, he's not. You know, I don't know. Like he has abilities. Don't get me wrong, but I've always thought that Diego Lopez, he's just one of those guys that he can crack. He can crack basically, but he's not like a technician. And I think Gene Silva, he's a striker, a different type of striker, but he's a technician. You know, he's a sniper. Let me read some of these comments. What do you think Kamaru Usman should fight next? Who do you think Kamaru Usman should fight next? I personally want to see him versus Shavkat. Everybody's talking about Kamaru Usman's knees, but everybody should be talking about Shavkat's knees. I mean, the guy keeps getting injured. The guy cannot stay out of getting injured. I don't know what's going on in his camp. I don't know who he's training with. I don't know who his coach is. I don't know what the guy's eating because the guy is made of fucking glass when we're talking about Shavkat. You know what I mean? Like the guy is just never healthy. Even with that Ian Gary fight, I heard that he went into that fight. There was rumors that he went into that fight with a torn MCL or something like that. Like, what is going on? Get it together. You know what I mean? So when it comes to Shavkat, I don't even know about that guy. I mean, he's undefeated. He's a great fighter. Don't get me wrong, but look, if he can actually just make it to the octagon, I'll give him a round of applause. Because as of right now, I don't have no trust in Shavkat, and I think the UFC don't have trust in him either. That's why we don't really see him as a headliner ever. Okay. And when it comes to Kamaru Usman, I don't know what would be next for Kamaru Usman. I really don't know, but I honestly think he should not be thinking about fighting for gold. That should be way, way out of the discussion. You know what I mean? I mean, you took 3 L's, took 2 years off, and then come back, win one fight against Jaquan Buckley, which I said Usman would win that fight, and he did. Dominated the same way I said he will, and still, that's not enough. That's just not enough. I think Kamaru Usman needs to fight Belal Muhammad, and that's the fight to make. That's a sellable fight. There's drama there. Kamaru Usman needs to drop that podcast beef that they had. You know what I mean? And it'll be a good build up. I think that's the fight to make. Right up the contract. Uh, hey yo, you rap good? Dean, no, I don't rap good at all, man. I don't rap good at all, man. This is basically the most that you're gonna hear me do. Okay, this is the most you're gonna hear me do right now. A B C D E F G H I J K L M N O P Q R S. You know what I mean? That's the best we could do. Knee to knee. Yeah, knee to knee when we're talking about Kamaru Usman and Shavkat. I mean, it's just atrocious, guys. Atrocious. Kamaru versus Belal would be interesting. I think it'll be beyond interesting. I think they need to make that fight. That fight should have happened 3 years ago, in my opinion. You know what I mean? But it took damn near a decade for Belal Muhammad to finally get the chance at gold. And by that time, Kamaru Usman's knees were damn degraded. All right. So, yeah, man. I mean, I think that fight needs to happen. Kamaru Usman versus Belal Muhammad. It's a sellable fight. I would love to see that fight. I think it'll be very interesting. You know, that fight alone, I think it could be a headliner. You know what I mean? I think that could be the main event of the evening. You know, it's that interesting. So maybe a fight night or something like that, or co-main event. I don't know, but I think that fight looks good. It looks good on paper as well. I think it could actually be a pretty stand-up fight. That's what I'm playing. That's what I'm thinking right now. That's what I'm thinking in my head. As I'm thinking about it right now, I'm like, yeah, they should book it. I would watch it. You know what I mean? And that Belal Muhammad and JDM fight, man, I watched that fight 3 times, and it was very entertaining from the beginning to the end. So I know for a fact that Kamaru Usman and Belal Muhammad fight would be freaking dope. I'm down. Because Kamaru still has some of the best takedown defense in the game. Exactly. So, but I do see Belal Muhammad, definitely testing Kamaru Usman's wrestling. I do see that. Fight night main event or pay-per-view co-main for sure. Aiden, I agree. I agree with you. You know, that's the way I'm looking at it. Fight night main event or pay-per-view co-main event. That's exactly what I just said. Yeah. I think that's the way to look at it, to be honest with you. In the stand-up, I think Belal is quicker, but Kamaru has more power. I don't know about the power situation when it comes to Kamaru Usman. In my opinion, I think that power is going away. You know what I mean? I watched that fight carefully, and I watched that fight with Jaquan Buckley. And in my opinion, don't get me wrong, he was hitting, he would land on Jaquan Buckley, but he wouldn't commit. From what I could see, it wasn't like one of those committed hooks that you would see from Kamaru Usman back in the day when he was fighting, Colby Covington of the world. So when it comes to the power, I wouldn't say Usman has an advantage with the power, because as he gets older, in my opinion, I know a lot of people say power is the last thing to go, but I watched Jaquan Buckley take many punches of Usman, and I just think if that was Usman 3 or 4 years ago, he's not taking those punches. So power definitely leveled out, when it comes to Usman. So Usman versus Belal Muhammad, they're definitely gonna make it a striking, affair. There's gonna be some wrestling mixed in there. But I see that fight being real good, really good. They should book it. You excited for UFC 317 this weekend? Aiden, I'm excited. I'm excited. I think it's a good card. It's a really good card. I'm not gonna say is one of the best cards, but it's a good card. It's a good card. You got Ilya Taporia versus Charles Oliveira. I picked Charles Oliveira to win that fight. I know a lot of people are picking Ilya Taporia, but I just like Charles. I like Charles, and I'm not gonna pick against him. And then you got Alexander Pantoja, flyweight champion, versus Kyle France. Another great fight. Kyle France is gonna have to keep it standing. He has great wrestling defense, so he's gonna make it hard for Alexander Pantoja to, take him down. Alexander Pantoja is definitely gonna step forward and, throw some combinations and mix up the wrestling as well with his Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. So Kaka France has to, be on his P's and Q's and do his due diligence, for this flyweight fight. But what else, man? I mean, and then we got Tracy Cortez. I mean, guys, whew, we got Tracy Cortez. I mean, every time Tracy Cortez hits the octagon, I mean, guys, it's a good night. You know what I mean? Oh man. Usman is just not as explosive anymore. Plus, the knees are making it worse and worse. Yeah, man, I agree with you, Mustard. The knees are, yeah, they're definitely gone. Did you see that takedown that he got on Jaquan Buckley? That wasn't even a takedown. That was like a lunge. He basically, it's almost as if, go watch that shit. It's almost as if he just dived towards his knees and his hips, like if he was diving into a pool. Like I'm dead ass. Go watch that takedown. One of the takedowns that Kamal Usman got on Jaquan Buckley, it was as if he dived for the legs. It was crazy. I was like, what the hell is that? But he got it and it worked. But it just looked crazy. I've never seen that in my life. Where do you think Sean O'Malley should go after his loss to Merab? Uh, you want me to be honest? I'll be honest with you. I think he should attend more Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu classes. Okay, I think he needs to travel the world and add to his game. I understand he has a coach in Tim Welch. I understand Tim Welch is a great coach. I understand they like working together. But in order to evolve as a fighter, you have to indulge in going and traveling all around the world, so that you can be one of the best mixed martial arts fighter that you can be. So in order to do that, you got to train with the best. And Sean O'Malley right now, I think he's just not evolving. He's stuck, and the UFC didn't help him because the UFC gave him the right opponents, and made him, feel good about himself to the point where he actually started believing all this hype. But in reality, everybody knew what his weakness was. He has no takedown defense. And not only that, his Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu skills when it comes to defending them is atrocious. So he has to work on being dynamic on the ground. He has to have some type of threat to where people who are wrestlers, they have to second guess their wrestling because they're like, man, if I take this guy down, he can submit me. So he just has to evolve, man. Sean O'Malley has to evolve. And the only way you're going to do that is if you travel the world and you train with the best. That's what GSP did. And look at him. Found massive success. And I just think, finding new coaches, but keeping your coach, Tim Welch, that's awesome. But finding other coaches that can help you evolve, I think that's what he needs to do. He should go 6 feet down. What the hell? What are you talking about, Dean? Let's go do Bronx. Plus 20, 270 money line for Oliveira. Taporia is probably Channel Charles So Aiden. Chinning Charles. Realistically, yes, but I still want Oliveira to win. That's my point exactly, guys. I want Charles Oliveira to win. I want him to win. I want him to I just want him to get gold. I want him to be the first, double, lightweight champion. You know what I mean? The first 2-time lightweight champion. I feel like if Topuria wins, they're gonna just skip Armin again and just give the shot to Paddy. Oh God, a very disgusting feeling in my stomach is just saying it might happen. That sucks. That's fucking horrible. You bringing that up actually gave me a migraine, man. Because if that happens, and you know what's funny about this Mustard is that I wholeheartedly I could see that happening. I could see that happening. The UFC has been pulling more fucking tricks in 2025 than ever. Okay, so I can see them pulling a little stunt like this where they still have Armin waiting in the limbs while they bring up Paddy the Baddy to have this this big ass, fight that has, been brewing for the last 3 or 4 years between Ilya Taporia and Paddy. I can see that happening, which makes me fucking sick because Armin he's deserving. Actually, he's deserving even before Ilya Taporia and Charles Oliveira, in my opinion. He should have been the number one choice. At least one of the fighters fighting for gold. I don't know what the fuck the UFC is doing. If they do that, I'm gonna take a cold shower. I'm gonna take a cold shower. That's what I'm gonna do. Let me see. Surfer, that's what's up, man. Welcome to the chat, man. Like and subscribe, guys, if you are new to the channel. Okay. I feel like Paddy is gonna become like the Yair Rodriguez Cyril Gane of the lightweight division. Oh gosh. Hopefully not. Hopefully not, man. That is somewhat intriguing fight though. Little grudge match feeling, Aiden, I hear you. I hear you, but I want to see Armin. I want to see Armin get in there and get a shot at gold. Excuse me, guys. But yeah, guys, like and subscribe if you are new to the channel. It takes minimal effort to give me the thumbs up, so you might as well do it. The only channel where the fans come first, not last. And guys, I still think Gene Silva is going to beat Diego Lopez. I still think that's going to happen. And I'm glad the UFC has booked this. I mean, this is an opportunity for Gene Silva. I'm excited for this, guys. Armin and Ilya are kind of brewing some grudge too, though, and it's actually close. Yeah, I'm seeing the drama right now between Ilya and Armin. I saw the last tweet that Armin tweeted at Ilya talking about you better hope that Charles Oliveira, doesn't pull out because I'm your worst matchup that you can have. I read that carefully, all right, because I know for a fact I'm waiting for Armin to touch that octagon as well. The guy is freaking phenomenal. I feel like Ilya would chin Armin though. Not gonna lie, you're out of your mind, my guy. Aiden, you're out of your mind. All right, what you need to do right now is have a conversation with yourself. All right, before calling 911 or a psychiatrist for saying something like that, because you must be crazy. You crazy, bro. You're out of control, man. You're out of control. Did you see how Armin, was doing against look, I'm not gonna Armin would beat Ilya Taporia, point blank period. 100% Armin is the best lightweight on the planet at the moment. That's what I think. That's what I think. I think Armin right now is the best lightweight on the planet as it stands. I don't give a damn what they say. I don't give a damn what type of wolf tickets they're trying to sell you. I don't care. Armin is the best. Armin is the best. And I don't think Ilya Taporia can beat him. I really don't. I really don't. I mean, when it comes to Armin, that dude he's a big guy. He's a big guy, man. He's a big guy. And Charles Oliveira is a big guy. And he outsized Charles Oliveira. So hell no. Hell no. Armin wins that fight. Point blank. Plus, Armin is a dog. He can take shots from Taporia and keep going. If he's able to land a shot, you know what I mean? If he's able to land a shot, because Armin's stand-up is getting better. The guy's getting dynamic. He's using head kicks. He's using his combinations, to his footwork really good. I mean, his ground game, phenomenal. No. Hell no. As much as I like Charles, I feel like he kind of crumbles against guys with too much volume. Yeah, I agree. I agree with you. I agree with you. But I think I, what I want to see, but what I want to see from Charles is a little bit more head movement. That's what I need to see. I want to see a little bit more head movement from Charles Oliveira, especially for this Ilia Topuria fight, because from the past fights, the reason why he gets caught in mostly all of his fights is because he doesn't move his head really well. He doesn't really move his head really well, and I don't know if it's because of an injury that he probably suffered, you know, later earlier in his career, that he can't really move his body in that manner. But I want to see him use a little bit more head movement, and if he's able to do that and use his clinch, I think Charles Oliveira has a good chance of winning this fight, guys. A lot of people are sleeping on Charles, man. He has a great clinch game with that omoplata, man. When he grabs that omoplata and he starts landing some knees, he could land some knees, man, and he could land a close elbow against Ilia, and he could cut Ilia early in the first round, man. Okay, and a lot of people don't think that could happen. I've seen crazier shit happen. And I think Charles Oliveira has a lot of possibilities in this fight to make this fight ugly. You know what I mean? Get in that clinch. Use that omoplata. You know what I mean? Land some freaking knees like you do. Throw some nasty elbows. Cut him in that first round. Make that first round dirty. You know what I mean? Take Ilia somewhere that he's never been. Make him taste his own blood. If you're able to do that in the first round, I think Ilia Topuria is going to be like, damn, okay, it's going to be a long night. I mean, I should have packed a lunch. You know, Dean, martial arts versus science. If Oliveira wins, is gonna be bittersweet because he got beat by former champ, but Ilya doesn't have that history. It doesn't matter, man. It doesn't matter. Everybody has bad off days. You know what I mean? Especially in fighting. So I don't think in my head, I don't think it that matters. I don't think that matters. I don't think that it matters that he lost to Islam. I don't think that it matters that he lost to Armin. You know what I mean? Uh, as long as he fights the next guy up, and the next guy up is a guy who beat Volk, beat Max, and beat him by KO. I mean, that's a formidable opponent. I think Charles runs with a knee and he gets caught by Topuria with a counter hook. I don't think that's gonna happen. I don't think Charles Oliveira is gonna be that you know what I mean, that willing to risk. You know what I mean? That he's gonna run, in with a flying knee. Like I don't see that happening. But that's a good way of being creative, Mustard. That neck injury versus Holloway. He did suffer a neck injury and a soldier injury in that fight. I do remember that. Maybe that's what it was. I don't know. Maybe, yeah, maybe that's what it was. I have no idea. I have no idea. But he doesn't have a lot of good head movement. I see that, man. And it could be a problem against a guy like Ilia Topuria. It really can. But I'm not gonna pick against Charles. You're gonna have to beat him before I start believing in you. Maybe that's why Olives can't move his head like that. Yeah, maybe, man. Maybe. The only thing stopping me from being confident in Topuria is his size. I get it, but in this situation, the size doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Because um, when it comes to Ilya Topuria, if you look at his body type, even if you look at him now, he's very dense. He's built like a truck. He's like a Joe Rogan type of person where his body is they're small men, but their bodies are just built like a truck, right? Um, and not only that, but Ilya Topuria, there was an interview with George Mazadov, and he said earlier in his career, George Mazadov's career, this is, if you could imagine, this is the time where Mazadov just finished, doing the flying knee on Ben Askren. You know what I mean? This is a time where Mazadov was like flying high, and he was at like his skill level when it was top of the top for Mazadov. You know what I mean? Like he was at his prime when he knocked out Ben Askren, right? Well, at that time, there's an interview with George Mazadov, and he talks about sparring against a guy named Ilya Topuria. And he said, "Man, this guy's gonna be champion one day." I sparred against him. He's smaller than me. You know what I mean? He's like he at the time. I think he was like I think he's a lightweight. I think George Masvidal mentioned that he was like I think he's a lightweight because he didn't really know him at the time. So he was like I think he was lightweight, but he's gonna be champion one day. His name is Ilya Taporia. That guy can bang. That dude can crack. He was like I sparred against him, and let me tell you something. Even though we were just throwing like 50 to 40%, man, let me tell you something. That dude hits you with 100%. He can knock out anybody. And then hearing George Masvidal say that honestly in an interview, that convinced me that Ilya Taporia is just one of those guys. He's just one of those guys that it doesn't really matter, if you're big or not. He's built different. He's built dense. His bones are built different. And if he just lands, he can knock out anybody. I do think Charles could pose a lot of problems on the ground though, because honestly, I think his wrestling got better. I think Charles' wrestling did get better. I think Charles Oliveira overall game is always getting better. So we're gonna see. It's gonna be a good fight. It's gonna be a good fight. Do you think though Charles is very good against shorter opponents? I wouldn't say that. You know what I mean? I wouldn't say that. He still has he still has an ability to get caught. You know what I mean? I mean, Michael Chandler caught him, a few times. So can can Ilya Taporia catch him too? He can, especially with his precision. So Charles Oliveira is just gonna have to stay patient. That's the name of the game, mate. That's the name of the game right there. Staying patient. But guys, it's been a good one, guys. It's been a good live. I gotta go. Like and subscribe if you are new to the channel. It takes minimal effort to give me the thumbs up, so you might as well do it. Thank you for supporting independent MMA media, guys. The only channel where the fans come first, not last. And yeah, guys, I won't be going live this Saturday because I do have some things going on this weekend, so I'll be busy this weekend. So I won't be going live for this event for UFC 317. But I will be going live post fight. You know what I mean? So most likely Sunday morning sometime I'll be going live, or Sunday afternoon or sometime around that time. All right, guys. But I'm out of here. Like and subscribe. Peace. One love.